And so we've reached the end of our journey through the new season of anime. But we are ending with a bit of a bang really, because we've got 3 very big hitting anime series. We've got A Certain Scientific Accelerator. We've got Do You Love Your Mum and her 2-hit multi-target attacks. And we've got Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Season 2. So you've got a spin-off, a sequel, and a highly popular light novel. But are they any good? We'll find out in a moment, because for the last time this season, this is a 2019 summer anime preview from a different perspective. Our next show needs no introduction. It really does actually, because otherwise you won't know what I'm talking about. It's time for A Certain Scientific Accelerator, the latest spin-off from a Magical Index franchise. Like A Certain Scientific Railgun, this one focuses on a major character, this time not a cute railgun, but a very, very adorable accelerator. Now, he wasn't adorable when we first saw him, I will say that. He was a bit of a bad guy, very much a bad guy in face, I'm going to swear at everything and kill everything guy. But over time, Accelerator's mellowed down and has become almost pretty much like an anti-hero. He is the opposite to Toma, whereas Toma is all about protecting people he loves, protecting values and just punching his way to justice. Accelerator had a more thorny path. After learning he was doing wrong and starting to learn his ways, finding out that, yeah, what he does affect people. He started acting more responsibly, especially given the fact he's now linked to the Misaka network after the events of Magical Index. He's now living with the adorable Last Order, Misaka number 20,001, and what Misaka says goes. Well, what Misaka says, because Misaka says Misaka every time she says Misaka says that she says Misaka says. And if you understood that, good luck, because you're going to be hearing a lot of that in the anime. Because this is an anime about the Accelerator and about Last Order, and about an anti-hero becoming a hero of his own show. What adventure is going to get up to, I have no idea. But if you haven't watched Magical Index, you're going to not know as much about this as you would do. I'd probably actually recommend going to watch that first of all, rather than watching this, but you can watch this as well. It doesn't really need a huge amount of explanation. You may actually want to watch Railgun instead, because Railgun's a much more approachable anime, and you also learn about Accelerator there as well. But not as much. But what side of Index does this one take? I mean, we know it's the science side, given them a name. But Index has a show of 2 halves in its own performance as well. It can be very fantastic and lively action orientated, or can be wordy to extreme. Well, we're glad to know this one is very much based on the action side of things. The first episode features a lot of fight scenes and a lot of interesting combat, but a lot of it is negated by the fact that Accelerator is overpowered. I mean, the actual anime is overpowered, because he is the most powerful Esper in all of Academy City. And that's going to be a problem for the anime, because what sort of threats do you do to the strongest Esper? I mean, how many of them can involve him trying to rescue Last Order or other people? I mean, how do you threaten the strongest person? You threaten him through other people. And if that's the case, this is going to get old very quickly. As cute as Last Order is, she's not Princess Peach. She's not in another castle. But what's going to happen when everything happens here? We don't know. I will be watching more of this, because I am a fan of the Magical Index entire series, despite how the last one was a bit iffy. And if you did want to watch this one, you can find this one over at Crunchyroll. And it wouldn't be an episode of Anime Preview without an Isekai series. An Isekai series with an obviously long anime title. Welcome to the world of Do You Love Your Mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks. Yep, the cute little twist of this one is that it involves the main character's mum and her 2-hit multi-target attacks. As I'd like to remind you, his mum is also transported to the real world with him. He gets a sword, she randomly picks up 2 swords because she doesn't know the rules. You're not allowed, she doesn't know you're only allowed 1, but she picks up 2. And who's going to say no to that face? And she becomes overpowered because she gets 2-hit multi-target attacks, whereas he just gets a loser 1-hit attack, which is strong but not as useful. And a lot of comedy in this episode is very much on, there's his mum. She's acting like a mum. She doesn't know about games, she's a mum. But she certainly loves her son, and she's getting embarrassed by it all. She's overpowered, but she doesn't know why she's overpowered. She reads a manual because RTFM, and she knows stuff. But what on earth is going on here? I mean, we're teleported to another world. It's a game world, in case you're interested. The twist this one's going on is a game world. It's a beta, an online game, so it is actually a proper game world. But why we're teleported to another world? Who knows? I think I probably might explain it at some point in the future, but that's not really important. The important thing is his mum. Mamiko is, well, to use the word MILF is very accurate here. She's designed to be a MILF. But again, Japan's really pushing the incest thing. I mean, I don't think he'd want to bone his mum, but I think we all would, because she is beautiful. And that's really what there is to say about this. I mean, it's got some amusing moments where they break the fourth wall a bit, they chat about what's going on. Apparently she used to play RPGs on the Famicom. To be honest, I doubt she did. Too hot for that. She's very much an airhead, but she's a female lead in anime, of course she is. They like that in the Isekai series, don't they? Well, most of them anyway. And I wanted to make this a bit longer review really, because there's a lot of anime here I'm not really talking about, but I can't really. I mean, it's an anime about a guy transported to another world with his mum. She's overpowered, he isn't. She's got 2-hit multi-target attacks, he doesn't. And she's hot. Now if you do want to watch this one, you can find it airing at Crunchyroll. And finally, we get to another very important question. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? 2. Because we got a sequel to the very interesting show from a few years back. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? And one thing we never learned is whether or not it is wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon. Because clearly Belle does try this. Successfully or unsuccessfully? Well, from the looks of it, quite successfully, not that he really knows too much about it so far. Means he's still got his eyes firmly faced forward at Eyes Wallenstein. But there's a whole Romeo and Juliet thing going on. Warring factions. She's a wrong familiar. He can't go with her. Hestia would kill him if she saw him with her another way. To be honest, she probably would do actually. Because Hestia, the blue string is back, the blue string of fate, and yeah. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Now if you've not seen the original one, I'll give you a basic premise of what's going on. Belle Cranel is the only member of a Hestia familiar. Now a familiar is almost like a guild. They've got a patron god who instills upon their members power. Now what power they instill is not the god's or a person's choosing. It is determined by their skills in combat. You might become a sword princess, you might become a badass kicking fiend. You might get some fantastically concurrently casting magic. You might be a master smith, who knows? You probably have a twinkling because it's all based on what you are. I mean, if you're an Amazon, you're not exactly become another magic user, but you might do. But our hero Belle is a bit of a wimp until he picks up one particular ability. Now, Hestia hasn't told him about this, and to this date, she still hasn't. He's got an ability which lets him level up quicker, effectively. It's a bit of a cheat ability. No one knows about it other than Hestia, and it helps him level up. He's got a few other abilities now. He's got Argonaut, which is a power which lets him overcome the odds. It's basically his win button. But yeah, he's entering the dungeon. He's got himself a party. He's got Wealth, his blacksmith, who's another fighter. You got Lily, a little prom girl, who is very adorable, but very money-minded. She originally meets up with Belle to try and trick him and rob him. But he sees through that. Everything's fine. He's got a bunch of other people he knows. He's got the girls at the Benevolent Mistress, including the fantastic Ryu, and the friendly girl next door, waitress Seer, who I've got big suspicions about, to be honest, but I'm not going to really say about that so far. He's got the guild person who speaks to. He's got loads of people he speaks to all the time. All have a hot swim, and he's all clueless. He's got eyes only for Eyes Wallenstein. Another person he knows, one of the most powerful fighters in one of the best familiars in the city, Loki Familiar. This anime, this season, is not about Loki Familiar. It's not about Ice. It's about a conflict. Because, once you know it, in the first episode of the second season, Hestia Familiar runs into trouble. They are lured into fighting against Apollo Familiar. Well, I say they, I'm talking about Belle and his party, only he's actually part of the Hestia Familiar. And in a blatant case of insurance fraud, Apollo Familiar lays on the tears, lays on the bandages, and says, look, you hurt my guy, you're going to join my familiar to make up for it. And Hestia's saying, no bitch, I'm not doing that for you. And he's like, yeah you are, otherwise I'm going to come take you to war to get what I want. And she's like, bring it. But she's at war now with one person. She's a family of one. What the heck's going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. We're going to wait for the next episode, aren't we? Because, yeah, that's where the episode runs off. And, yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of a light novels. I'm actually well ahead of this point of the story, so I know what's happening. And this season, for fans of the original, it is going to be fantastic. Some of the best plot lines available, and some of the best characters available, are popping up over the next few series. There are going to be some disappointments, I will say that. But if you're not a fan of the original, watch it. I mean, you know what you're going to get into. It's good. If you aren't a fan of it, you know, seen it before, give it a try. It's only airing at Crunchyroll. So there we have it. I won't say the season's over, because it's only just beginning. But I've given you my take on what the good anime are, and what the bad ones are. What's your take? Let me know in the comments. What are you watching, or what to avoid? And be sure to check out some of the other videos on my channel, because I'm not just doing anime here. Well, thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you around. Bye bye.